Okay, good morning everyone. So I got couple of questions. So we'll go through that. The first thing is generally sometimes you will be getting an error when you create a customer. So when you try to create a customer from VD01, okay, I'm just trying to get the data from the person who asked the question. I'm just entering some data, all the mandatory data. Okay, so now when you try to save this, you'll get this error saying that data is incomplete check. Okay, the reason why you get this is because for your account group you have to specify what are all the different partner functions that you are allowing. Okay, so again, say when you are in a customer master, the way how you can check the account group of it is you need to go to extras and administrative data. Okay, so it's not allowing even us to go there. So but if you go to extras and administrative data, then you will see the current account group. Okay, and the reason why you see that is because for this account group you have to specify what are the partner functions that you are allowing. You have to tell the system that for this account group ZB P1 or whatever, you are allowing it to be a sold to party, you are allowing it to be a bill to, you are allowing it to be a payer and ship to party. Okay, so that's something that we do in the partner determination, which I'll be discussing it today. Okay, so that's the reason why you see that error. So yeah, because Boni, you already attended the last class, so just for your reference, you need to go into setup partner determination for customer master, and you need to go to account groups functional assignment, and here for your account group you have to define what are all the different roles that you are going to allow for this account group. So ZBSP can be a ship to, similarly ZBSP can be sold to, it can be a ship to, ZBSP can be a payer, ZBSP can also be a bill to party. Okay, so you'll just get this warning, so you can ignore that. Just keep on pressing enter. Okay, just do that and save it. Okay, see now if you see, the request number is blank. So if I want to pull up a transport request which I have been working from the past, like yesterday and week before, so you go to own requests here. Okay, I think I logged in with a different ID, but if you yesterday I was doing with 194, so if you log in with the same ID, so it will give you all the transport requests that you created. Okay, so you can use one of those. But now, since with this user ID I don't have anything, so sorry, just create a new one, and you can just give any free text and you save it. Okay, so now if you go back and create the customer, now this should work. Okay, and couple more things in the customer master. Okay, I'm taking a customer that we created yesterday. Okay, I'm going to general data. So this is the one that I'm talking about. If you go to extras and administrative data, okay, it will give you the account group for which we created and whom it was created by. Okay, in the customer master, go to extras and administrative data. Check the account group of the customer. Okay, similarly again you can maintain free text also. Okay, so say for example this customer has some particular delivery instructions or some special packing instructions for this customer. Okay, so then you can maintain a text type which is again a topic later called text determination. So in that text determination we can configure all the different types of text that you can put in the customer master. Okay, so but the way how you do it is so you can just double click on it, and a Microsoft Word document will come up, so you can enter any free text here. Okay, so you can enter any free text and you just save it. Just go back, it will ask you, and you can just save it. And now this text will be or you can say please, or this customer is available for delivery only between, it's not a link, so you just double click, it will take you back again to the Microsoft Word. Okay, only between 4 to 6 p.m. EST. Okay, so you can include a text like this, and this text will be automatically copied into your sales order when you create a sales order for this customer. So this text will be copied over, and again from sales order it will be copied to delivery, provided you do the necessary configuration. And so when actually your delivery guy, he delivers it, he'll see a note on he'll see this note printed on his delivery note saying that this customer is available between so and so time. So then based on it he can do the delivery. Okay, so that's the importance or text. So basically you can maintain any kind of free text in these fields. Okay, so that completes the customer master. If you have any questions, let me know. If not, I'll quickly show you vendor master also. And one other last thing is in projects people say change log. So change log is nothing but it contains the list of all the changes for the corresponding object. Okay, so change log for a customer master is always, if you go to environment, you will see the change log. So if you see field changes, so you just click on it and it will give you all the changes. So there are no, so for this because I selected on this field, so it's giving you if there are any changes for this field title. So we didn't change anything. So if you go to account changes and all fields, now it will give you the changes for all fields. Okay, so just select okay, so it's giving the date on which I made the change. So because I only made one change, so if I keep on make more changes to it, you'll see the log of all the changes. Okay, so that's how, because master data is very important, so that's how even accountability, and you can track who made the changes, everything. So you don't have, you cannot escape the changes that you make, so you'll be liable for it. So that's what when people talk about change log, so that's what they mean, the log of all the changes. Okay, next I'll quickly show you vendor master and kind of how customer master is a critical object in sales and distribution. Vendor master is a important object on the material management side. Okay, so we'll not be going into much detail on how we went with the customer master, because in SD you will never be creating vendors. It's not your responsibility, but I just wanted to at least show to you the transaction for it and how you create a vendor. Okay, that it's because it's an MM object, the path will be in material management. Okay, purchasing, master data, vendor. Okay, so this is where you will see the vendor. So similarly again, the transaction code for it is XK01. Okay, so if you just type XK01, it will give you the create vendor screen. Okay, so you just go to create. Okay, so I'll use a purchasing organization because yesterday, if you remember, we didn't create any purchasing organization. So purchasing organization is exactly how we have sales org, which is responsible for all the sales that happen in the particular sale in the company. Similarly, MM has the concept of purchasing organization. So this purchasing organization is responsible for all the procurements that a company makes. Okay, so I'll use this 3000 and I'll select some account group. So again, you can observe the similarity. So we have customer account group, and here you have a vendor account group. Okay, so same there will be similarity between customer and vendor, because it's just the mirror image, it's just the other side of things. Okay, so I'll just put some component supplier. Okay, again this also has a similar configuration where you can make some fields as mandatory, you can suppress them. Okay, you can play around. So but if you observe, the navigation will be a little bit different because different people write these programs, so the navigation will be a little bit different. So if you here, if you want to go to the next screen, so you just click on it, you click on the next screen, or you can go to general data and you can go through these transactions here. Okay, so you can just maintain any mandatory fields that you have, and so the currency I say is US dollars. So similarly, how you have partner functions again in customer master, you have partner functions in vendor master. Okay, so that's how you create a vendor. Okay, so again so let me go and activate the technical details. Okay, so here you're seeing MK01, right? And I told XK01 also. So again the same concept, how you have for customer, you have a FI transaction with starting with XD01. Similarly, you have a vendor transaction from a company code point of view, which is XK01. Okay, so you can just remember XK01 is create a vendor, and this is a finance or accounting view. Okay, similarly MK01 is from a purchasing view. Purchasing view. Again the same thing applies. XK02 will be changed, MK02 will be changed, 03 is display, 03 is display. Okay, so that's how you create a vendor, but in our discussion you will never will be never using any vendor. Okay, and assume you know what the purpose of a vendor is, right? So vendor is when is a partner from whom you procure or get any services. Okay, say in a company, a vendor is someone from whom you will be buying materials, or your supplier who supplies the materials, or some you as a if you go as a consultant, you are technically a vendor for that client. Okay, because you are offering them some services and you are getting paid, and say all the actual staffing companies, they will be created as vendors in the system. Okay, so I think if you have any questions, if you have any question, go ahead. The line is unmuted. Okay, so that concludes master data. So this customer master, we discussed customer master, then we discussed material master, and now we did vendor master. And there are some more master data objects which we will be discussing as we go along. Master data objects left. Okay, we will be discussing about customer material info records. Okay, then we will be discussing about condition master. Then we will be discussing about output conditions. Okay, so these are some more master data objects that we'll be discussing when we actually discuss this we'll discuss when we go to pricing, and this we'll discuss when we do output determination. Okay, this we'll discuss when we complete the sales orders. So now what I want to show you is I want to first show you a complete today I want to discuss the sales order configuration. Okay, so today I'll discuss the sales order document configuration. Okay, even before that, what I would like to do is I'd like to give a high level overview of how the sales process happen in a company. Okay, so from a very high level, any company will have the sales order, okay, delivery and billing, which is the basic order to cash cycle. Okay, and now companies can have different variants of it. So for example, one company, they will start with inquiry first. Your customer will be sending you an inquiry, hey, I want to buy these and these products or services, and he just sends you an inquiry, and you will be capturing that inquiry in the SAP. Then based on this inquiry, you will be creating a quotation, and you will send this quotation to your customer saying that, hey, for these products, this is the rate that I am offering you, and these are the delivery dates that I can promise you, and this is the date up to which this particular quotation is valid. So you reply to your customer with a quotation. So then the customer, he reviews a quotation, and if he feels it's good, then he'll send you a purchase order, which will be a sales order in our system. Okay, so your customer will send you a sales order saying that, hey, I want to buy this much quantity of these products. My delivery dates, my expected delivery dates are these and these. Okay, he'll send you all that information in a sales order. Okay, then you put this sales order in your system. Actually, sales order is the point at which a company will be liable for delivery. Okay, inquiry and quotation are just pre-sale documents, and they don't have any bearing. So at this point, you did not make any commitment to your customer. Okay, only once you receive the sales order and you send a sales order confirmation to your customer, so from that point you are liable to deliver the goods. Okay, so again, it's similar to when, say, you buy some product on any online website. Okay, so if once you get an order confirmation, and if they miss the delivery date, you are obviously going to call them and ask, right? Because they already committed to that delivery dates. Okay, so exactly the same concept. Then based on the sales order, you create a delivery. Okay, so again, based on the delivery, you create an invoice. So this is one variation. And in another variation might be, take for example, service items. Think of Geek Squad with Best Buy, right? So the only thing that they do is they offer services. When Best Buy sells products, but Geek Squad primarily they offer installation services, all those kind of things. So in those cases, you don't have any physical delivery. Okay, so in that variation, it will be a sales order, and based on this sales order, you are directly creating an invoice. You don't have any physical delivery of goods here. Okay, and again another variation might be, okay, you have sales order, delivery and billing, and again this is again something that we all will be doing a lot, returns. Okay, once you get the delivery, you actually paid for it and you didn't like the product and you want to return it. Okay, so then you have to create, then we as a company, so when you get a return from a customer, you have to create a return sales order, a return sales order, a return delivery, and then you have to give a credit. Again, this is an invoice, so you have to give a credit back to your customer. Okay, and say again a scenario similar to this. Okay, you have sales order, delivery, billing, and your customer wants to return it. Okay, think of the product as a very huge volume and big electrical machine. Okay, the cost of shipping in that case is greater than the cost of the product itself, or the price of the product. Okay, so in that case you will not do any return delivery, so you will make it as a kind of a trash item, and then you will directly give a credit to the customer. Okay, so again similar to this, so again you have a sales order, delivery, billing scenario. Okay, you have a billing, and say you overcharged your customer or you undercharged your customer. Okay, so again, like I was talking about this master data and the importance of it. So for some reason one of your guys fat fingered, or you overcharge your customer. Okay, so in that case you have to give him the credit, right? So that's why again you have to create a credit request document, which is kind of a sales order document, and then you have to give him the credit. Okay, again in a similar case where you undercharge your customer, you will be creating a debit request document and you will be issuing him a debit. So these are some of the scenarios. So all these will be supported by SAP out of the box, and I just wanted to illustrate when we think SD process, we only think sales order, delivery, billing, right? So again all these are sales order, delivery and billing, but these are different variations of it. And again all these are something that all of us will be doing in our real life scenarios. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll first start with the life cycle even before we go into the configuration of this. So I'll first create an inquiry, I'll create a quotation, sales order, delivery and invoice. Let's see how the things flow, and then we'll go into the configuration of each of these, and we'll try to configure some of these scenarios. Okay, the path is now sales and distribution. And sales, I want to start with an inquiry. Okay, I'm doing this scenario now. Okay, so now if you go to sales, you will be seeing all the different documents. Okay, and one other jargon that we use when I talk about sales document, it can be any of the above documents. It can be an inquiry, quotation, sales order, contract, which we'll be discussing later. It can be a scheduling agreement. Okay, so any of these can be a sales document, but a sales order is the actual sales order, like the VA01 sales order that we are creating. Okay, so now here you are seeing all the different types of sales documents. Okay, so let's start with the inquiry. Now we go to VA11. Okay, so again, like as you can observe, VA11 11 is create, 12 is change, 13 is display, 1 2 3. So similarly again quotation is 1 is create, 2 is change, 3 is display. Okay, so now go to create an inquiry. Okay, so now what I'll do is I'll use some standard data that SAP gives. So that's the advantage with an IDAS system. So with the IDAS system, you will have some data that is already created for your testing purposes. So you can directly start using it without even doing any configuration or anything. Okay, so and I know some sold to and ship to that I know it will work. So you can use even for your practice, you can use the same data. Okay, so now whenever I create an inquiry, so this is the sold to party. So for example, I received a paper inquiry from a customer, from this guy, and he wants to inquire, he sent an inquiry about some of our products, and he wants us to send him a quotation back. Okay, basically generally from a customer side, what they will do is, generally this inquiry process happens when they are buying large number of items. Okay, say for example a company is buying lot of PC machines for their company. So then what they will do is, they'll send a request for all the major vendors. Okay, for example they'll send it to Dell, they'll send it to HP, and then they'll receive quotations, request for quotation, RFQ. Then they'll receive a quotation from all the vendors. So for example here, now we as a vendor, once we get the inquiry, then we have to send our customer a quotation back. So if the customer is happy with the quotation, then he'll send us a purchase order. Okay, so that's how the loop closes. And you enter a sold to party. So if you observe here, as soon as I entered sold to party, ship to party is automatically populated. Okay, so the reason why it does is, it goes back to the customer master that we discussed. So whenever you see whenever you see the underline here, it means that it will be a link, it's a hyperlink. You just double click. Okay, see for example this customer has a partner function for which sold to party, ship to party is the same. So that's why whenever I enter the sold to party, this guy as a sold to party to whom I am selling it, it will automatically populate the ship to party. Here for example 300711 is there. For example, if the ship to party were to be 300712, then it will automatically show you 300712. So that's the advantage of maintaining master data. The data that you once maintain, it can be reused in all these transactional documents. Okay, so I'll take a screenshot of it. So even when you're testing it, in initial testing, you can use the same material, and later then we'll do inquiries and orders with our own customers that we create, and the materials that we create. Okay, so now I entered a material. So any sales document, okay, any sales document, it will have a header level. At the header level, you specify to whom are you selling this. It has all the header level details. And at the item level, which is nothing but a material level, so now at the item level you enter all the materials. So I do another material. So you can enter multiple materials here. Okay, for now I'll do one, and you can enter I think there is a 60,000 limited, so you can enter large number of items here. So SAP doesn't have any restriction here. So now you're telling that your customer sent you an inquiry for this material for, I'm just saying, one piece for now. Okay, so now you can check if the order is complete or if anything is missing. If you just save it, it will tell you if anything is missing. Okay, so now if you see, the inquiry has been saved. Okay, so I just want to copy this number. So what I'll do is, I'll go to change mode and I'll copy this number. Okay, 100014 is my inquiry. So this inquiry is something that you receive from your customer. Now with reference to the inquiry, you have to create a quotation. So the way how you create a quotation is VA21. Okay, so you have to create this quotation and you have to send it to your customer. And one other thing is, the inquiry can be received through fax, through EDI, or through paper mail, in any of the mediums. So if you do say EDI, you don't need to go to VA11 and manually enter these things. So once you set up EDI, once the customer sends it, the inquiry will be automatically created in our system. Okay, so now I want to create the quotation. So the way how I do it is quotation. So there are two ways how you can create a quotation. So now I go to Qt and I can open my okay, I can open my inquiry in another screen. Okay, I'll just go to display mode. Okay, I want to create a quotation for this inquiry. So now I can copy everything from here, okay, and enter the data. Okay, so then I copy the material and I bring it here, and I copy the quantity. And since you have only one line item, it seems trivial, but say you have 100 line items, which is always possible in a real scenario. Okay, so you don't want to copy all the data, right? So there should definitely be some better way. Okay, so the way how you do that is, okay, you create with reference. You click on create with reference. So this create with reference means you are creating with reference to a preceding document. So your preceding document is an inquiry. So with reference to an inquiry, now you can create this document. So you just take this number, okay, you just enter it and you say copy. So now if you see, everything is automatically copied over. So the way how, again, see, whenever you see something automatically happening in SAP, so there will definitely be some configuration behind it. Okay, so the configuration that's allowing us to copy from one document to another document is called copy control. Okay, copy control is to copy the data from one document to another. So we are going to see the configuration behind copy control also today. Okay, and if you observe, you see some price coming up here. Okay, and you see some description, unit of measure. So we didn't enter all these. I just entered the material number and it pulled up all these things. So all these come from master data. Now if I want to go into detail, so you can just click here. Okay, so like as I told, there are two levels. One is the header level and one is the item level. So if I want to go into the header level, okay, you can click on go to header, or you just click on this and it will take you to the header level of the document. So this is the header level of the document, which is applicable for all the line items. Okay, this is a common data that is applicable across all the line items. Okay, so if you observe again, the pricing procedure is determined automatically. So because like as I told earlier, if something is determined automatically, there is a configuration behind it. So you will be seeing what's the configuration behind this when we actually discuss pricing. Okay, the quotation type is that order type is Qt, which is the standard SAP type for quotation. So this tells the system that it's a type of quotation. So earlier in inquiry we were entering IN, which is a standard type for inquiry. Okay, this is our sales area data. Like as I told, all the documents will be created for a sales area. So this is the sales area data. So similarly you will have shipping condition. So if you observe, the shipping condition is standard. So from where does this come is, it comes either from your order sales order type, from this quotation type configuration, or from your customer master configuration. Okay, so if you observe, weight is pulled up automatically. So this comes from material master. Okay, so similarly again we'll be seeing all this in detail. Again, if you see partners, it pulled up all the partners. All these partners comes from customer master. Okay, for the customer master, for this record, for this 30711, it pulls up all these details. Again, like how you have some text in customer master, you will have free text here. Okay, if you want any specific shipping instructions, if you want to write any warranty information, okay, you can enclose all of them here. Okay, so that's header data, the data which is applicable for all the line items in the document. And similarly, you can also look up the line item details. So you just double click here, it will take you to the line item details. Okay, so again similarly it has what is the quantity, okay, what is the delivery date that we can do. Similarly, what if you see it already pulled up a value, what is the total quotation that value that we can give to this customer. Okay, so similarly again if you go to conditions, you will be seeing all the pricing related stuff, so which we'll see some of these later again. Okay, but I just wanted to give you an overview of how a sales document looks like. It has a header and it has an item level which has all the item related stuff. Okay, now just save it and it will say you if any data is missing. Okay, it's saying that the document is incomplete. So you just click on edit and it will show you what is missing. So it's saying that the quotation valid to date is missing. Okay, again that is a common sense thing, right? You cannot give a quotation for a customer without any valid to date. So let's enter some valid to date, and you're telling your customer that the price that I am giving you for this material, for these materials, is valid till this date. I can honor this quotation till this date. Okay, now try to save it. Okay, now you created a quotation. So the next step is, okay, we send a quotation to our customer, and the customer, he will get quotations from multiple vendors, and he will see say he wants to do business with us. So then he will send us a purchase order. That purchase order, it will be created as a sales order in our system. Okay, so see, the sales order is again the same path, order. Okay, so you just click on order, and again the same thing. If you observe, you enter a type, order type, which tells what is the type of order, and you specify the sales area details. Okay, again you can just go into it and you can enter everything, copy everything from quotation, or you can directly create it with reference. Okay, so if I say create with reference, I want to create it with reference to a quotation. Okay, so say I don't remember the quotation number. So if you go to change mode, the system, it will automatically give you the last value that we did. So I go to logistics, sales and distribution, sales. Okay, I will go to change mode into the quotation, and see, this is the quotation number that we created earlier. So it will give you the last quotation we did. Okay, so I entered the quotation number, and again I do copy. Okay, so now if you see and if you observe, the screen layout is little different for inquiry versus quotation for sales order. Okay, so again all these are some things that you're going to configure in the order type. For sales order type, you will assign a different screen sequence group, versus for quotation you will be entering a different screen sequence group. So these are some things that we are going to see later in the order type configuration. Okay, so this is your sales order. Okay, so this is your sales order, and again the same thing. You will have a header level which you can go by clicking here, or you can go into the line item details also by clicking here. Okay, so we are going to do a deep dive of this, but just give you an overview for now. Okay, so now again I want to save this. Okay, so now you saved your sales order. Again the same thing, when you go to change mode you will see it, and if you want to make any more changes to it, you can make any changes by going into the change mode, which is VA02. Okay, now I want to create a delivery for this. Okay, so the way how I create a delivery is VL, sorry, let me go from the menu part. Okay, so till now we did sales, and delivery comes under shipping and transportation. Okay, so you're creating an outbound delivery, and generally you always create it with reference to a sales order, because I have a sales order and I want to create a delivery with reference to a sales order. Okay, so if you observe, delivery will always be created with reference to a shipping point. Okay, because that is the place from which you are going to send your deliveries, right? So shipping point is nothing but it's a place outside a plant from which all the trucks are loaded, if you are using rails, or if you are some companies use air cargo. So it's the point from where all the products are loaded. Okay, so it will automatically pull up these details, and now this is your delivery. So delivery, as you can see, it has a different screen overview, and it has all the delivery related stuff like picking and transportation. Okay, let's not worry about all the details for now, but I just want to show you how similar all the stuff are. So right from inquiry to delivery, if you see, everything has a header level and everything has an item level. Okay, so now let's save this again. Okay, now let's go into the change mode. So this is our delivery. Okay, now the delivery is done, and the concept with SAP is you see post goods issue. So when you actually hit this post goods issue, that's when the ownership of goods is transferred from our company to the customer or to the transportation company. Okay, so once you hit PGI, so that's when actually the excuse me, the quantity is reduced from our warehouse when you actually do the post goods issue. So it means that now the ownership of goods is transferred to the forwarding agent, which is your transportation company, or to your customer. Okay, now the delivery is done. The last thing is we have to bill our customer. Okay, so again the way how you do it is you do it from billing. Okay, so you go to billing document and you create a billing document. Okay, so again if you observe, the last document will be automatically copied. Okay, so see, this is the net value, and if there are any taxes, everything, so you can just save it. Okay, so now we saved the document. So this is the billing document is saved, and then this will be released to accounting. So then all the accounts payable postings are made from this point. Once you actually release it to accounting, so from this point the FI team takes over. Okay, so this is the complete order to cash cycle, right from creating an inquiry to actually billing our customer. Okay, any questions? And so yes, yeah, when you are doing intercompany billing, intercompany sales, yeah, your sales org will be a vendor. Generally you do it with in an intercompany sales org. Between sales orgs is not called an intercompany. Between company codes is called an intercompany billing or intercompany sales. So in that case, one company will be a customer of another. Okay, so at least hopefully you got some overview of what we are going to discuss now on, and how you create a sales order and how you create a delivery. And one other distinction that I would like to highlight is, if you remember, when we created a sales order or an inquiry or a quotation, we were entering the order type. Okay, when I created a sales order, I entered, the system is asking me to enter an order type. Okay, but when I created a delivery, if you remember, the system, it didn't prompt us to enter any delivery. Okay, so when I actually created delivery, it's not asking us to enter any delivery type. Okay, again the same thing with when you create an invoice, again the system, it didn't ask us to enter any invoice. Okay, it automatically pulled up a document and it determined its own invoice type. So since it's determining its own invoice type, it means that there is some configuration behind how that's happening. Yes, okay, so this is the question. uh, in actually, the thing with EDI is, once there's a concept called iDocs in SAP. So whenever you get these inbound documents, inquiries or sales orders, first an iDoc will be posted in SAP, and that iDoc will be converted as an if it's an inquiry related, then it will be created as an inquiry. If it's a sales order related, then it will be created as a sales order. And there's a transaction from which you can actually see the iDocs that we received. Okay, so that I'll give you an overview of this later. So in W02 you will see all the iDocs that you received from your partners. Okay, and once the iDoc is processed into a application document, okay, once the iDoc is processed into an application document, when I say application document, it can be a sales order, it can be an inquiry, okay, depending on the requirement or the application that we are talking about. So once it's created, you just go to VA12 and you'll be seeing it. Okay, so let me see if there are any inquiries in this test system. Okay, in this I don't think there are any documents. Okay, but like as I told, an iDoc will be posted initially into the system, and in this iDoc it will give you the inquiry number. It will, here in the, if it's successful, it will give you a message saying that an inquiry document 100015 has been posted successfully. So it will give you a message here if it's in green. So then you have, what you have to do is you have to just copy it from here, and if it's an inquiry, if you go to VA12, so then you just go to change mode, you enter the inquiry number and you will be able to see the inquiry automatically. The same thing with sales order. So when your customer sends a purchase order, so first an iDoc will be created in our system, and if the iDoc is posted successfully, if the data is good, if all the settings are made, are done how they are supposed to be, so it will be posted successfully, and there will be a message here saying that sales order number 100051 has been created successfully. Okay, this will be in green and it will show you a message. So then you can directly go to VA02 and you just need to enter the sales order number. Okay, now let's go into the configuration and see how we can create new sales order types and what are all the different levers or configuration options that you have behind each of these. Okay, so now let's go into the SPRO menu. So whenever I say configuration, obviously you have to go to SPRO menu. Okay, so SAP reference IMG, and like as I told, from now on all the configuration that we'll be doing will be in the sales and distribution tab. Okay, sales and distribution and sales. Okay, so this is where to start with. This is the first step that we have to do. Sales order configuration. Okay, so first you go to define sales document type. So if you observe, we are using a document type for all the sales documents. For inquiry I was using IN, for quotation I was using QT, and for sales order I was using OR. Okay, those are all standard SAP given order types for each of the respective functionalities. So if you want, again we'll create a new one. Okay, again I go to position and say I enter OR. Okay, so if you just double click, you can double click on it and select it and go to details. Okay, so this is the configuration between behind the sales order type. So I'll here you will see lot of controls. For now I'll explain some of the important ones, because even if I explain everything it will be overwhelming and you won't be remembering anything. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll discuss some of the important ones, and later if you have any questions, like as I told, okay, so any field that you don't remember, so okay, so I don't know what this reference mandatory is. If you just click on F1, it will give you a good help about what that field is. Okay, so I don't know what that field is, so it will give you what this field is, example of when you do and how you use it. Okay, so the first is the sales document category. So this category actually tells what is the type of document. So these are the standard entries that SAP gives. You cannot add to this list. Okay, in OR is a order, so that's why whenever you create a document with order type OR, it will create a sales order. Okay, similarly if I go to the inquiry configuration, the sales document category will be A. Similarly when I go to configuration for quotation QT, the sales document category will be B. Okay, so that's about the sales document category. And the next is the sales document block. Say for example you have a sales document type specifically for South America, or maybe Mid East, and for some reason due to the internal conflicts there you want to stop all the sales. So then what you do is you just come into the sales order type and you just block it. Okay, if you just select the sales if you just put X, okay, this will be blocked. The system will not allow you to create any the order documents from VS01 for this sales document type. Okay, because you entered X. Same thing is if you select A, what the system will do is it won't allow you to enter anything from it won't enter allow you to enter anything from the VA0 screen. Only the background processes will be allowed. Okay, so just remember the blank and X for now. And again, whenever you're practicing, please don't change any entries in the standard order type OR. Okay, because a lot of people, even in this holds true even in your projects. Okay, say in my project, whenever I want to configure something that is related to an order, so what I do is I'll copy this and I'll create a new one. Say unknowingly you changed something here, so whenever I copy this, I am going to use the same mistake that you did. So for example, you entered some reference mandatory here, so whenever I copy this reference mandatory will be copied over into the new order type that I created. Okay, so that's why make sure not to overwrite anything in the standard document types. Okay, so now you see number ranges. So number ranges, like as I told you yesterday, the number range assignment, you for this 0 1 you assign a number range. Okay, for this 0 2 again you assign another number range, both internal and external. So with the sales orders you can use internal numbering or external numbering. Again, as I told, 95% of the time you will be using internal assignment. Okay, external assignment will only be used when you're doing any conversions or when you're transferring data from the legacy system. Okay, and the next is this item number increment. This item number increment is, so when I create a sales order, okay, so I'm entering one line item, and I'm entering one more. Okay, now you see the line item numbers are 10, 20. So if I enter one more again, it will be 30. So the reason why you see that is because here you told that the item number increment has to be 10, and generally this is a best practice, because say later when you want to insert some material in the middle, okay, if I want to enter something, so you can you will have that leeway, you will have that flexibility. Okay, so and the next is the sub item increment. So sub item is used in variant configuration when there are child materials. Say for example, okay, when a customer orders a computer from you, so this computer will be exploded into a keyboard, a CPU, okay, a monitor. These are your sub items. The customer is actually buying this material from you, and these are sub items. Okay, so in this is the sub item number. So in that case, this will be 10. Okay, these won't be 20, 30 and 40. This will be 11, this will be 12, this will be 12, this will be 13. Okay, that is the sub item increment. Okay, reference mandatory is some like as I told, each client will have different business process. Say for some client, they want to make mandatory that every sales order should only be created with reference to a quotation. Okay, not every sales order, but every sales order of type OR has to be created with reference to a quotation. Okay, if that's a requirement. Okay, companies will frequently have that. So then you, in this reference mandatory, you just enter, okay, with reference to a quotation. So once you enter this with reference to a quotation, the system will not allow you to create a standalone sales order. All the sales orders of type OR will have to be created with reference to a quotation only. Okay, and the next one is check division. And if you want the system to check the division of your material with the division of the customer. Okay, and the next is probability, which you won't use when you actually do a sales order, but probability is generally used in the case of quotations, where based on it you will be planning the goods. Okay, if the probability of this order type is say 80%, okay, so based on it then your material guys will plan for it based on the number of quotations that you are getting. So they'll use this probability to calculate the amount of materials that they have to manufacture or procure. Okay, and credit limit check is same thing like with our credit cards effect, because in all these scenarios you are actually shipping or giving goods to your customer even before he pays for it. Okay, so if you that's the reason why the credit check and credit management is important, because say customer ordered lot of stuff from you and he didn't even pay for the prior ones. Okay, so then you use this credit limit where you classify your customers into high risk, low risk, and then you will be doing all that in the credit management. Okay, again the same thing. Output application is what is the type of output that you want to give for this sales order. Do you want to do EDI? Do you want to do fax? Okay, this output application will come back when we do output determination. Okay, material entry type, these are not that important. If you want you can look up the help. Okay, material entry type used only when you actually do product catalog, so which we won't be using. Okay, check purchase order number is if in the VAO1 screen here you see purchase order number. If you want to make this field as mandatory, so then you use this. Okay, and the next transaction flow tab is all these are for the look and feel of the screen. Okay, like as I told, the screen sequence group determines the look and feel of the screen. So for order type for sales orders, AU will be assigned. For an inquiry, different screen sequence group will be assigned for inquiry and quotation. So that's the reason why you see a different screen for inquiry and quotation, and that's the reason why you see a different screen for sales order. So due to this screen sequence group, again I was in some projects where they wanted to change the look and feel of the screens. So then you have to take the help of an ABAPer to create a new screen sequence group, and then he will give you a new screen sequence group that you have to assign here. Okay, incompletion procedure, will come back to this when we this is again a configuration topic which will come back. Okay, so if you remember, when I tried to save a quotation, it said that quotation valid to date was missing. Okay, the reason why and how it said is because due to this incompletion procedure configuration. So in this incompletion procedure, basically you tell the system these are the minimum fields that I want the user to fill in. Okay, so that you use that you configure it and you assign it to your sales order type. Okay, and document pricing procedure is this is an important field for pricing. If you remember, I told you one more field in the customer master. Okay, in customer master, this field, and in the order configuration, this field, these are two very important fields in pricing, which when I discuss pricing next week, I'll show these again to you. Okay, and then you go to shipping tab. So earlier I showed to you, whenever you are creating a delivery document, it didn't ask for you to enter any delivery type. The reason why I stressed it at that point is because you see this here, whenever you create a sales order type of order OR, the system will automatically use this delivery type LF to create a delivery. Okay, again the same thing. Whenever you use an order type, you create a sales order of order type OR, the system will use this billing type for billing. So that's the reason why the system didn't ask you to enter any delivery type or a billing type. Okay, so let me copy this. So I'm creating a new one. Okay, I'll say ZAOR. Okay, so this copy control I'll discuss this today. So now I created a new order type of type ZAOR. So just save it and it will prompt you the transport number. Okay, so now we created a sales document type of type ZAOR. So now if I go to VAO1 screen, okay, now I go to just to refresh your memory, /n will take us back to the home screen. So now I go to VAO1 screen, and now okay, now you should see the order type that we created. Okay, ZAOR. So that's how you should differentiate between what we are doing in the configuration versus what we are doing in the front end. Okay, now we created a new order type. Similarly, again you can also create your own document types for inquiry and quotation also. So if you go to IN, which is an inquiry, standard inquiry type, just double click on it. So you see the document category type will be A, okay, which says this is a type of inquiry. So all the settings, all the configuration options will be similar. Okay, you won't be seeing anything in the billing and shipping tabs because you are not going to create a shipping document or a delivery document from an inquiry or a quotation. You only create it from a sales order. So that's why all these will be blank. Okay, again you will have a similar configuration for quotation also. So it has a different screen sequence group, and if you see the shipping tab, billing tab are empty, don't neglect this proforma invoice, so which is not a real invoice. Okay, so everything will be blank. Okay, at this point don't try to remember all the different options that we have, but at least on a high level at least on a high level what are some of the things that you can do in a order type configuration. Okay, any questions? Yeah, sure. Yes, yeah, you'll definitely have access. No, SPRV will definitely have access, and you'll even have access to modify also, because that's where you as a consultant will be doing. The users, the business users, they will not have access to SPRO, and you as a consultant you will have access, and like as I told, you will have different systems. Okay, you will have a development box, you will have a quality box, and then you have say production in a simple case. So in production obviously everything will be locked. Even in quality also, the SPRO you'll have display access, but it will be locked for you, and in dev you will have change access to configuration to the SPRO. So any change that you do in SPRO, it has to be done in dev, and from dev it has to be moved to quality and there to production. Okay, so if the user asks you to do something, then you will definitely have access to at least the sales and distribution objects. So then you have to come here, make the changes that are necessary, save it, and you just need to do a quick test in development. Okay, kind of unit testing in development, and move it to quality where the user will do his user acceptance testing. Okay, Venkat, do you have any follow-up question? No, you as a consultant, you have to configure all these. Okay, say for example, your business guy, they came and asked you to create a new sales order type. Okay, so that's something that you as a consultant, you have to do that. So you take some object that is most close to your requirement, and you copy it, you create a new one and make any changes that are necessary. Okay, so for example, okay, you create a new order type, and you will be saved. Okay, there is something that okay, now say your business, they asked you to create a new sales order type for one of their requirements. Okay, so you as a you will be responsible for driving this. So first you have to if it is any complex requirement, first you go to your sandbox, and in sandbox you kind of prototype it, and then you come back to development environment, and like as I told again, you'll have different clients. Like say 100 will be a golden client, and 200 will be development client, and your 300 will be a unit testing client. Okay, you have to come to 100 where you will have all the access for SPRO, and you have to configure it. Okay, configure it means you have to do whatever it takes, be it configuration or development. Development will be done by a developer, but you will have to drive that requirement. You have to do all the necessary configuration, and if there is any development, you have to get it done with your ABAPer, and then you have to do the complete unit testing for it. Okay, so once you do that, you are satisfied that all the fixes that you do meet the business requirement, then you take the list of transports and send it to your basis guy, who then moves all this to the quality environment. So in this quality environment, you will be doing some again initial integration testing, and then you will ask your users to verify it again. Yeah. Okay, so that's how you configure a sales document. And again, number ranges, as I told, as we discussed yesterday, it's exactly the same. Okay, you go to change mode, you can go to this change mode here and create any new number range intervals. Okay, so and then you can come, you create it here, and you come back. Okay, you come back to this screen, and you assign it to your order types. Okay, and order reason is okay, order reasons are used when so you have a special promotion going on, and your marketing department, they would like to know the number of orders that were placed due to the recent okay, see some of the examples here. You put in a new newspaper advertisement, and you want to know what are the number of orders that you are getting due to the newspaper advertisement. okay, or due to a television commercial. So you can configure those order reasons here, and when you actually enter okay, when your sales per or when your order entry person, he keys in the sales order, so then he'll select the order reason, the reason why this customer is ordering from us. Okay, so if you say he did it because due to the recent television commercial that we put out, okay, then you select television commercial, or due to the newspaper advertisement, or due to the best price that we have got in the market. So this is used for the analysis and reporting. Okay, kind of how whenever you go to some websites or buy something, they'll ask you, how did you find us? Did you find us through a Google search or Facebook, or did some friend refer you? Okay, so that you can increase your marketing effort, or you can know the results of the marketing that you're doing. Okay, that's the reason why you use this order reason. Okay, now this completes the sales order type configuration. So the next step that we have to do is okay, this order type configuration, it controls everything at the header level. Okay, the next half an hour I am going to discuss about a concept called item category, which controls at the item level. Okay, that will be our next topic. So if you have any questions, you can ask me. If not, let's meet at 11:45, and we'll complete item categories, and if I have time today, I'll also do copy control. Okay, so then let's get back at 11:55. చూసాను.
సేమ్ కలర్స్ తీసుకుంటుంటారు. కాల్ చేద్దామా అమ్మ? మస్తు తలంబ్రాలనుకుంటుందా? అయ్యా اسمه رجل హరికి నేను పక్కన తలంలో లేకుంటే మధ్యలో డిస్టర్బ్
continue.
You have to move this and update this.
అలా వస్తుంది 7 times ఉంటుంది.
ఇచ్చింది ఎప్పుడు మనకి
ఇచ్చింది.
చెట్టు బయట పెడుతున్నాడు. సో హ్యాపీ. బాగా
అదే వస్తుంది.
Welcome to Reliable Call. Your account balance is $5.00. You have 142 minutes for the call. I am sorry. The Vodafone number you have called has been checked. At 0 cents. You have 142 minutes for this call.
ఒకళ్ళు ఫోన్ రాదు, ఇంకోనే ఫోన్ వచ్చింది. ఓన్లీ రాలేదు. జూన్లోనే వెళ్తుంది ఇంటర్వ్యూ మధ్య ఉంటాడు క్లాసు నన్ను గిల్లేమని నేను అరిస్తే అరవలేదు.
ఇది రైస్ పెట్టేసి Okay everyone, welcome back. Okay, so till now we discussed the sales order type configuration. So just going through some of the notes. So sales order is a contractual agreement between an organization which is the sales org. Okay, it's a contractual agreement between the sales org and the sold to party to whom we are selling the products. And so as you observed, the sales order data is copied from multiple places. So it gets the data from the master data records, and some of the data like the pricing procedure is automatically determined by the system. Okay, it's automatically determined through some configurations that we do in the system, and some data is copied from the preceding documents. Okay, I'm muting everyone, so if you have any questions let me know and I'll unmute. Okay, so data from the master record. So when you create a document standalone, so standalone means creating a document without referring to a previous document. Okay, so this is when you create like this and enter everything manually. So this is a standalone sales order. Okay, so when you create a standalone sales order, the data is copied from customer master. So the sold to party information. So whenever you enter a sold to party at the header, okay, it automatically copies all the customer master data into the order document. Similarly, when you enter a material numbers at the item level, all the material master records, all the material master related information is copied into the sales order line item level. Okay, I'll come back to the customer material info records, and some of the data is determined by the system. For example, pricing procedure, route determination. So all these are determined by the system automatically through some configuration that we do, and data from the preceding document. Okay, so when you create a document with reference to a previous one, the system copies all the data from the preceding document. Okay, relating to the sales order configuration. So the sales document type, it controls how the particular sales document might function. Okay, so for example, a return sales order has a different order type compared to that of, sorry, a regular sales order will have a different order type compared to that of a returns. Okay, so the document order type that you enter, it specifies what is the business process that's happening through this sale. Okay, the sales document type, it controls the header of the sales document, and generally a tip is whenever you're creating a new document type, always reference an existing order type that is closest in the functionality. And when copying or creating a new order type, make sure it starts with Y or Z. So the reason why you should start with Y or Z is whenever you're doing an upgrade, SAP doesn't change any of the objects that start with Y or Z. This is to ensure that SAP doesn't override the custom changes that you make. Okay, so the namespace with starting with Y or Z is reserved for customers completely. So the objects that start with Y and Z are completely protected during the upgrades. So some people might ask you in interview the reason why you start with Y or Z. So the same thing, even all the custom programs, ABAP programs that you write, they all those also will start with Y or Z. Again, the same thing with tables. In any database tables that you create, they also start with the Y or Z. Okay, the next concept is item categories. Okay, so before I go into the item category configuration again, let's discuss from a front user perspective why item categories are important. Okay, assume that I am creating a standard order type OR. Okay, I'm selling to this guy and I'm selling a material. Okay, so now at the item level, this once you create a delivery, you have to do a outbound, you have to reduce your stock for this particular type of sale. Okay, so this is one process. At the item level, when actually the delivery happens, the stock has to be reduced. So now say for the same customer, I am creating a return sales order. Okay, this customer is returning something back to me. Okay, just bear with me for a second. Okay, the same customer is also returning something back to me. So for that, for a return, I need to create a different order type, right? I cannot use the regular sales order type OR, but I have to use a different order type. Okay, so the same customer, okay, so someone changed, not from our team, but I think someone who is also using the system, they changed some of the stuff. So that's why like some of the standard things with 3000 1000, they are also causing some issues. Okay, so now this material is for a return. So once this material, once you save this sales order and then you create a delivery for this order, the stock for this has to be increased. The inventory has to be increased. Okay, so this is something that has to be controlled at the item level. Okay, the way how SAP controls, similarly how order type controls everything at all the controls at the header level, at the item level, this item category controls what are the different functions that this material can do. Okay, again as an example later we'll be discussing. So the same material in the same order, it can be created as a free good. Okay, so now the same material in the same sales order, it will behave differently. So when I enter a different item category, this material will not be billed. This is a free good. Okay, so the way how the system controls it is due to this item category. Okay, the item category defines the behavior of a material in a sales order document. Okay, I know this is kind of vague at this point, but as we discuss this, it will become more clear, and later when we discuss kind of concepts like free goods, then it will illustrate the importance of item category. Okay, so it says the item category controls the behavior of an item by controlling the various elements that are relevant. Okay, some of the standard item categories are TAN. TAN is the standard item category for sales orders. So whenever you use a standard order type, you use the item category TAN. And even in your projects also, generally you will be seeing the item category TAN used. Okay, so the way how you can configure that is the same path. Okay, item category, and one other thing you have to observe is we didn't enter this item category manually. Okay, this was determined by the system automatically. So it means that whenever something is determined automatically, there is some determination formula that derives this. So we will also study this now, how this is automatically derived and what are all the combinations that will make this automatic determination happen. So the first is the place where you configure the item category. So you go to sales document item. Okay, sales document header is where you do the order type configuration, and sales document item is where you do the item level configuration. Okay, you go to define item category. Okay, you go to the item category, and as I told, TAN is the standard sales order related item category. Similarly, I listed the standard item category for AG, quotation is AGN, for inquiry it's AFN. So let's observe the difference. So now double click on it. Okay, so again you will see a lot of controls here. All these are controls at the item level. Okay, an order type has different controls for the header level of the document. Similarly, an item category will have controls at the item level of the document. Okay, a couple of important things is, say for returns, if you observe here, we have a different item category. So this item category tells SAP what it should do. So if it's a returns, so if I go back and see REN, the item category REN, okay, so see this returns is checked. So then SAP knows that this particular line item is for returns, and it has to increase the stock. It has to add this particular stock back to our inventory. Okay, okay, and some of the important things here are pricing. Okay, so pricing X means it's a standard, so it has to carry out pricing. Okay, so X means it's a pricing standard. So for example, if you are giving free goods, so later we'll study free goods, where if got 10 pieces of material, no, this M11 are brought, two pieces are free. Okay, this is called free goods, which we'll discuss later about the configuration and everything. But in this case, see, observe. So this is the scenario that I'm talking about. Okay, so now if you see the same material in the same sales order, it's behaving differently. So now if I go to pricing, the way how I go to pricing is, you just double click on it and go to conditions. Okay, see, for this the total price is $15,390, and let's see what is the price for the second one. Okay, the price for this is $0. So the way how the system knows to price for this line item and to not price for this line item is based on this item category. So now let's go and check the item category settings for TANN. So now I go back and see TANN is a free of charge item. So I just click here. See, now if you see the pricing here, it says it's free of charge. You have to give 100% discount. Okay, so that's the importance of item category. It actually determines how the same material, you can, by changing this item category, you can make it behave in a different way. Okay, and the next thing is the way how the item category is determined. Item category is combination of item category group from material master and the sales document type. Okay, so as you observed, as soon as you enter the material here, the system, it will automatically, let me delete again and I'll show it to you. Okay, now as soon as I enter a material, see, observe, this item category field will be populated. So the way how this comes is, the system, it will first, I think I have some steps down here. Okay, see the steps how this SAP comes up with the item category is, first the SAP will read the document type from the sales document. Okay, it will see what is the document type. Here now, if I want to look up the document type, you just go to display header, you go to the header level and see OR is my document type. Let me write that down here. OR is the document type, and SAP reads the item category group from the material master of the sales item material. Okay, now let's go to the material master. Now for this material, go to the material master. The way how you go to material master is, MM01 is for create. Since I want to see something, I'll go to MM02. Okay, let me go for this material. I'll just select basic data. Okay, so the system, it will go and look up the item category group for that material in the sales of 2 tab. Okay, now the item category group is NORM. Okay, so now this is your key. Based on these two parameters, the system, it will determine the item category. So the way how SAP names this is confusing. So item category group and item category, so you need to differentiate between those two. Item category group, it comes from the material master, so it's nothing but it's just a grouping of materials. Okay, and the standard again here is NORM. Norm is the standard item category group, and based on this item category group and your sales order type, the item category in the sales order line item is determined. Okay, so now the way how you look up is, you go to this assign item categories. Okay, you go to assign item categories, and now you go to position and you enter your sales order type OR and the item category group from the material master. That always item category group comes from material master. So now if you see OR plus NORM, it gives you the default item category is TAN. So that's the reason why whenever you enter a sales order type OR for this material and for the material, so it will give you a item category of TAN. Okay, so let me give you another example. Okay, I'm creating a sales order again for the same customer, and let me use a different material now. Okay, now if you see, the item category on this will be different. See, the item category is different. The reason why it came up with this item category is, so whenever if you want to see why this item category came here, so first for this 1512 you have to go to the material master. Okay, so if you want to check for a different material, you can either go back to MMO2 screen, or if you just select this, okay, so I am entering 1512 and I just select basic data and sales of 2 and my plant. Okay, so if you go to sales org 2, the item category group is 0002. Okay, so now your order type OR plus item category type 002. So now you go and check in the config table here, order type OR and item category group 0002. Okay, order type OR plus item category group 002 gives you TAC. So that's the reason why you saw a different item category group. Okay, the reason, for example, just to give you some more in depth into this is called a configurable material. Okay, so here what I did is, just to give you an example, what I did is I created a configurable material. Okay, let me enter it again. Okay, so this material will behave differently. So now if you observe, as soon as I hit enter, it takes you to another screen. Okay, this is a bike or a car where the price varies by the color that you are selecting. Okay, now I am selecting a green color car. Okay, and similarly green color has a different price, red color has a different price. Okay, I assume again no one will buy a green color car, but that's the colors that I had here. Okay, so now if I select the green color, now I go back to the order. Okay, because these are called configurable materials. Okay, where you this is similar to configurable material whenever you buy a car on the web, try to configure a car on the website, or whenever you configure the laptop that you are buying. Okay, those are called configurable materials. Because this is a different type of material, the item category is also different. Okay, so these are some of the distinctions or different cases where you'll be using different item categories. The same material, it will behave differently in a order due to this item category. Okay, and you got to remember, it is a very very important interview question. How is the item category determined? The item category is determined by the sales order type and the item category group. Okay, there is one more level to it, which I won't be discussing it now, but we'll be doing this later. Okay, for now these are the two important things that are helpful to determine the item category. Okay, and if you want to define item category groups, see, item category has lot of controls. Item category group, it's just a name, it doesn't have any control. So if you just click on it, it doesn't have any control, it's just a name for grouping the materials. Okay, so for example, NORM is the standard one, standard item category group. Okay, NORM is the standard item category group. Okay, there are some standard like for packaging materials, so you have to assign this in your material master when you create the material. Okay, if you want to add any more item category groups, you can create it from here. You go to new entries and ZNORM. Okay, one other thing is, yesterday when we created a material, I never manually entered the item category group. Okay, so if you go to MMO1 and try to create a material, okay, so now I am creating a material of type finished product. Okay. And just enter mandatory fields that are required. See, see the system, it automatically prompted the item category group. So how did it bring up the item category group is because, see, define default values for the material type based on the material type that you are selecting when you actually create the material master. Okay, the material type is the second or third field here. See, the material type, based on the material type that you are selecting, the system, it will automatically prompt you an item category group. Okay, so for example, I selected a finished product. The item category group by default is NORM. Okay, if you are selecting a configurable product, then the system will automatically prompt you 002. So configurable product is KMAT. So whenever you, so depending on the material type that you are selecting here, the system, it will automatically give you an item category group. That comes from this configuration. You can define a default value for an item category group. Okay, and the last step is assigning the item category, which we already discussed. Based on your sales document type and item category group, the item category is determined. Okay, so I unmuted everyone, so if you have any questions, let's discuss.
అంటే చపాతీ ఉంది ఎక్స్పెక్ట్ చేసేస్తాను.
Yeah, sure. Yes, yeah, it's same. You use configure materials when you are doing bill of materials. Yes, you're right. I didn't use the term bill of materials because it might confuse everyone. Yeah. Okay, if you have any questions, you can ping me on the chat. So that completes the configuration at a sales item level. Okay, then the next thing that we'll be studying is the schedule line category. So let's see, before we go into configuration again, let's see what a schedule line level is. So now again, say I go to VAO1 and I try to enter a sales order. Okay, so say I assume my quantity now is 10 pieces. Okay, so now, like as I told, the way how you can go into the item level is, so you can either double click on it. Okay, if you double click on it, it will take you to the item level. or you just select this and click on this and it will display the item level, or the other way is you just click on this and you can go to item level. There are different tabs on the item level again, so you can directly select the tab to which you want to go and it will directly take you there. So these are the different tabs in the item level. Okay, again item level is this data is applicable only for this line item number 10. Okay, you see this item category, and conditions is where all the pricing happens. So these are which we'll come back to this when we discuss pricing next week. So this is where all your pricing is calculated. Okay, this has all the shipping related stuff. From which plant is this going to be delivered, what is the shipping point, what is the weight, and in this has all the billing related, what are the payment terms. Okay, now my emphasis now is on the schedule lines. So schedule lines is nothing but it's kind of a sub item level. So you might get a order from your customer, a sales order for to be delivered to this customer. What is this guy? 30. Okay, to be delivered to this guy. Material is M-11 with a quantity of 10 pieces. Okay, of these 10 pieces, 3 pieces are to be delivered on say 03/20/2012. Okay, again say 3 more pieces are to be delivered on 27th. Okay, 4 more pieces are to be delivered on, the last 4 have to be delivered on 4/1/2012, and this completes the delivery. Okay, this is a very common scenario. So in this case you will not be having 3 line items, you will be only having 1 line item with multiple schedule lines. Okay, so these are called schedule lines. These are different delivery dates for the same line item. Okay, so if any one of you have experience in automobile industry, so in automobile industry these concepts are used a lot. They call just in time processing. So they have an exact time and place. So on this date at this time, they will not be generally now in the automobile industry they don't maintain any stock. Okay, actually Toyota, it started this just in time model, and now even all the American companies were using it. So earlier in the automobile industry they used to have huge inventory of raw materials from the vendors. Okay, they used to get all the raw materials from the vendors and they used to stock them. So whenever you need to stock the materials, there are a lot of costs involved. Okay, there is a cost involved to actually store all those materials. There is a cost involved to get all the materials from your warehouse the place where these are stored, to your actual plant floor. Okay, there is a lot of labor charge. So there are a lot of these costs. So actually Toyota heralded this model where the vendor he will directly bring it to your shop floor at the time and date you will require. It's almost like say if you need something at 9:30, so they will be delivering it at like 9:25 or 9:30 at the exact time. Okay, that's called just in time processing. So these are called schedule lines. You'll have a single line item with different schedule lines. Okay, so Okay, and if anyone is interested in more, not just specifically to SAP, but if anyone is interested in the supply chain knowledge, so there are a couple of books on how Toyota redesigned or it actually started this whole improvements in supply chain. So those are very good books to read from a generic supply chain management perspective. Okay, so again the way how you can go is, if you want you can even directly go into the schedule lines. So I think this is the indicator, so you just select the line item, and if you select this icon it will directly take you to the schedule lines. Okay, so now what I can do is, now you have a single schedule line on 12/3/2012 with an order quantity of 10. So now what I can do is, I can split this into multiple schedule lines on whatever dates that we discussed here on 3/20. Okay, you'll have an order quantity of 3. Okay, similarly on 27th you can create one more schedule line with an order quantity of 3. Okay, on again 4/1. Okay, so on 4/1 again I have an order quantity of 4. So now I split the sales order into multiple schedule lines. Okay, again if you observe here, you see confirmed quantity, so it means that stock is readily available and the system is confirming this quantity as soon as you enter the sales order. Okay, so this, the way how the stock is confirmed and all, we'll be talking about this in the availability check. So whenever you enter a sales order, the system, it will go back into the materials management and see, and it will check if there is any stock available. If the stock is available, so it will confirm that stock immediately. So now on 23 your order quantity is 3 and it confirmed those 3 pieces. Similarly on 27th and 1st it confirmed all these quantities. Okay, so that's the concept of a schedule line. Okay, a schedule line, it consists of confirmed delivery quantities and the corresponding confirmed delivery dates when these quantities can be confirmed. Okay, so and again schedule line also has a like kind of how, yes, yeah, so this is the question, if you can change the date. Yeah, it can be changed. You go to system, user profile and own data. Okay, and also if you need to change your password also, you don't need to change it here, but in your projects when you want to change your password or anything. So if you want to change your password, you just click here and you enter your old password and new password and it should change automatically. And you go to defaults and here you can change the date format. Okay, and also the decimal notation, right now generally we are used to period as a decimal indicator, so but it's the other way, so even that you can change it here. Okay, so if you just change it to this, so then the actual decimal indicator will, the point will be a decimal indicator. Okay, default I think for all of us it's comma at this point. Okay, so you can do that and save it. Yes, so yeah, it can be changed, but that has to be changed by the administrator. Yeah, so that's the question. Yeah, that can be changed. Generally in projects you will not be seeing this issue, because depending on the time zone or depending on the country that your company is in, automatically they'll set up all these as default. Okay, even something is set up as a default, and if you want to overwrite it, your user profile will have a higher priority. Okay, and if anyone have any questions, let me know. If not, I'll go to the next topic, copy control. Okay, as I discussed earlier, again copy control is so here, see, the copy control, it allows us to copy the data from one document to another. So whenever you are creating a quotation with reference to an inquiry, or you are creating a sales order with reference to a quotation, so the data is copied automatically from one document to another. Okay, so there should be some configuration which controls this. The configuration that controls that copying mechanism is the copy control. Okay, again your path is the same. Go to SPRO, sales and distribution, sales and sales documents, and maintain copy control for sales documents. Okay, you go to maintain copy control for sales documents, and see, you see sales document to sales document. So sales document, as I told, a sales document can be an inquiry, it can be a quotation, sales order, contract. No, any of these is a sales document. So when you are copying from inquiry to a quotation, it's sales document to sales document. Okay, so this will take some time, because there will be a lot of entries in this table, so it will take like 30 seconds to a minute for the table to display. Okay, it says memory is low. Let me log off and log in again. Okay, go to SPRO again, sales and distribution. Okay, sorry, go to sales. Okay, you go to sales documents, and you go to maintain copy control for sales documents. Okay, it shouldn't, as you can see, this is a big table, and I think the buffer memory that is left is less. So I'll try to get this fixed, and we'll do copy control in the next class. So but basically in a copy control what happens is you have a source and a target. Okay, for example, the source will be an inquiry and the target will be a quotation. So these are, since these are standard entries, IN and QT are standard, copy control will already be defined by SAP. Okay, if you are creating your own order type, so if you remember when you are creating a new order type, SAP was asking you, is this item relevant for copy control? Okay, so if you go to sales and sales document header, okay, so when I try to copy this and create a new one, okay, so see it's asking, is this entry also relevant for copy control? So what this does is it will copy all the order copy control elements that are there for OR. It will also copy for ZIOR. So it means that kind of how you can create a sales order type of type OR with QT. Say you create your own custom order type ZIOR. Even this can be created from QT. So that's what this entry means. So it will, once you click yes, it will copy all the entries, all the copy control entries for OR into ZIOR. Okay, just delete it. I don't want to create unnecessary entries. Okay, but that's what that message there means for you. Okay, so you have a source and a target, and then you have a set of ABAP programs that will copy the data from QT into OR. Okay, there are some ABAP routines that will copy the data from source to the target. So you assign those ABAP programs in this configuration. So the place where you can, the ABAPer will be writing the programs is called, the VOFM is the transaction code to write all the SD related routines. Okay, so in your projects people will call VOFM routines. So VOFM routines are nothing but, this is a common place where you can go into all the different types of routines that are relevant for SD. Okay, so the transaction, VOFM is the transaction code. Okay, so here you will see there are different types of so copying requirements, data transfer requirements. So all these are different routines. Okay, so when I go to copying requirements and orders, so these are some routines. Okay, if you just click on any of these and go to this source text, it will show you the ABAP code that is relevant for this routine. Okay, so this is the ABAP code, and you don't need to know this ABAP code or anything, but the ABAPer, he will write your routine and he will give it to you. Okay, so this routine you have to assign it in this copy control. I'll show it to you next week, so where you assign this routine and everything. Okay, for example, data transfer routines are the routines that transfer the data from the source to the target. Okay, see, these are the two copy control. It consists primarily of three main elements. The first is the data transfer routine. So this data transfer routine, it controls what data should be copied. Okay, so if you go into this data transport, Okay, so this is some one routine that you use in when you are copying the data. So here if you see, all the data will be copied from the source to the target. Okay, so here if you see, these are all the source fields, then it's copied into the target fields. Okay, so that's what a data transfer routine does. Again, you don't need all this, but it's good to know, at least if you know where you can go and check these routines, and what is a requirement routine, what is a data transfer routine. So and obviously if you go as like an experienced consultant, people at least expect that you know, even if you don't know to write these routines, they expect you to know what these routines are. Okay, a requirement routine is, it's a if condition. Okay, whenever you assign a requirement routine there, it's an if condition. Only if the logic in this routine is satisfied, then the data transfer happens. Okay, so that's a requirement routine, and I'll again show it to you next week. And so now we completed sales orders, its configuration. And one other thing is the tables in which all this data is stored. Okay, yesterday I discussed the tables in which the sales order information the customer master information is stored, KNA1, okay, KNVV. So these are the tables in which the customer master information is stored. Similarly, there are all the sales order details are stored in different tables. I have the list here. Okay, the header is stored in one table, the item is stored in another table, and the schedule lines are stored in another table. Okay, so if I go to VBAK, so VBAK is the sales document header data. So I'll say created by the documents that I created today. So these are all the documents that I created today, all the sales documents that I created today. Yes, yeah, the SC16 or SC16N is the transaction to see the contents of a table. Any transaction is fine, you can use either of them. Okay, so similarly, if you observe, the key on this table is the sales document. Okay, now if you go to VBAP, this is the item data, and the key on this document will be sales document and item. Okay, so you can enter. Okay, I want to enter again created on, created by today, created by me, my user ID. Okay, so it will pull up all the item level entries that were made today. Okay, this is the sales document number and item. The combination of these two is the key for this table. Okay, because it's at an item level and it's specific for the sales document, so that's why the key is the combination of these two. Okay, similarly VBAP is the table for schedule lines. And one other thing that I want to show is, okay, let's take this number. Okay, let's go to the billing document that we created today. If you remember, I created an invoice today. Okay, so now let me find out the billing document that we created today. Okay, so if you know these tables, which I recommend you to remember all these tables, so you can easily find out, like you can go to these tables and you can query. Okay, if you don't know the tables, it will become a little bit tougher. Okay, now I am going to the invoice and I want to find out Okay, I am going to the invoice and I want to find out the corresponding for some reason maybe these are deleted. Okay, I'm going to into the delivery document and I want to find out the inquiry document related to this. Okay, I want to go all the way up to the inquiry and find out what is the inquiry for this. Okay, so now I am here at the delivery and I want to find out what is the corresponding inquiry document, what is the corresponding quotation for this. Okay, the way how you do that is in all the sales documents you find this icon. Okay, document flow. So you just click on the document flow and it will give you the complete trail of this document. Okay, so now if you see, this is the delivery that we created. This is the sales order on which this delivery was created. The sales order was created based on this quotation, and again quotation was created based on this inquiry. So you get the complete trail. So this is the invoice that you created for this delivery and the corresponding account number. Okay, so that's called document flow. You'll find the document flow in the sales order also. So you go to VA02, which is your sales order. Okay, so I don't know the sales order number, so again if I know the table name, I can go to the table directly. Okay, VBAK is the table. I'll say I can search using any of these parameters. Okay, I'll say created by my user ID today. Okay, so these are the sales steps. So if you see the sales type, it is OR. So all these three are sales orders. Okay, 12103. So now I can go to here and enter 12103. Okay, now you see the same icon here. So you just click here and it will give you the complete document flow. Okay, maybe this order was created standalone. Okay, it says consider subsequent documents because a delivery was created for it, so that's why it's giving you a message. So basically what that message tells you is, hey, there is already a delivery created, so the changes that you are doing in the sales order, they might not be reflected into the delivery because a delivery is already created. Okay, so now you see the complete trail of this. What is the inquiry, quotation, all the upstream and downstream documents. Okay, so that's about this document flow and the tables in which this data is stored. Okay, so this week we discussed a lot of stuff, so I recommend you to practice all this. So if you have any questions, send me an email or you can call me if yes, so today evening or tomorrow I'll send you some scenarios or exercises that you can configure in the system, so you can take those as reference and you can practice this.